Would you dare step inside the most haunted places in America, alone? Imagine the lights go out, the doors lock, and every sound could be something or someone. Across the country there are buildings where the past refuses to stay buried. Places that have terrified even the bravest ghost hunters. Tonight we're not just telling ghost stories. We're peeling back history to uncover the unsettling truths that linger within these walls. We'll walk the same halls where restless spirits are said to roam and listen for whispers from a time long past. This is a journey into America's most infamous paranormal hotspots, where history and horror collide. So turn down the lights and get ready. We're about to explore the dark secrets behind America's most haunted places. Are these phenomena real, or is there a logical explanation? Let's investigate. Our first stop is San Jose, California at the Winchester Mystery House, a mansion built by Sarah Winchester, heiress to the rifle fortune who believed she had to keep building to appease vengeful spirits. For 38 years, construction never stopped, resulting in a labyrinth of over 160 room staircases to nowhere, and doors that open onto walls or thin air. The house is a physical maze of grief and paranoia designed to confuse the spirits she feared. Visitors report disembodied footsteps, doorknobs turning on their own, and the apparition of a spectral handyman still at work. Sarah's presence is strongest in the seance room, where people feel cold spots and hear faint whispers. Is this house truly haunted by the victims of the Winchester rifle, or is it the product of a woman consumed by guilt and superstition? The mansion's bizarre energy lingers in every corner, making you question every shadow. Did Sarah succeed in confusing the spirits, or did she create the perfect place for them to stay, forever? The Winchester Mystery House is a slow, creeping dread you can't shake. Next, we visit Philadelphia's Eastern State Penitentiary, a crumbling fortress that pioneered solitary confinement, driving many inmates to madness. The silence here is heavy, filled with echoes of desperate whispers and the misery of its past. Cell Block 12 is notorious for disembodied laughter and shadowy figures that vanish when approached. Locksmith Gary Johnson once described being gripped by a force and seeing twisted faces on the walls, a full-on paranormal assault. Al Capone's cell is a hotspot, with visitors hearing the faint sound of a banjo drifting from the empty room. Is this a place where tortured souls are trapped, or do the decaying walls play tricks on our minds? When you stand in an empty cell block and hear an unexplainable noise, it's hard to believe it's all in your head. Eastern State doesn't just feel haunted, it feels alive with the ghosts of its past. Would you dare walk these halls alone? High in Colorado's Rockies sits the Stanley Hotel, so haunted it inspired Stephen King's The Shining. The spirits of founders Freeland and Flora Stanley are said to linger, playing piano or appearing in the billiards room. The fourth floor is alive with the sounds of ghostly children, and room 217, where King stayed, is infamous for lights flickering and luggage unpacking itself. The spirit of chambermaid Elizabeth Wilson is said to tuck guests into bed. Some guests report full-bodied apparitions, icy grips, and whispers in the night. The concert hall is haunted by Paul, a former handyman who flickers lights and whispers, "Get out!" Is it the hotel's atmosphere? Or did King tap into a real, active paranormal energy? At the Stanley, some guests check in, but never truly leave. In Louisiana, the Myrtles Plantation is draped in Spanish moss and dark legends. The most famous ghost is Chloe, an enslaved woman punished and later hanged after a poisoning gone wrong. Her apparition in a green turban is still seen wandering the grounds. A 1992 photograph captured a shadowy figure many believe is Chloe. Guests report ghostly children jumping on beds, a piano playing itself, and handprints appearing on mirrors. The ghost of William Drew Winter, shot on the porch, is heard climbing the staircase, never reaching the top. The plantation's tragic history is palpable, with hauntings not limited to just one spirit. Is it the pain of the past that lingers, or something more? The Myrtles is a beautiful home with a history that refuses to be forgotten. Would you spend a night here? In Louisville, Kentucky, Waverly Hills Sanatorium stands as a monument to pain and loss, where thousands died of tuberculosis. The infamous body chute was used to discreetly remove the dead, and is now a hotspot for paranormal activity. Voices, pushes, and dark shapes are common. The fifth floor, once home to mentally ill patients, is haunted by shadow people, solid, fast-moving figures that absorb light. The spirit of a boy named Timmy is said to play with balls left for him, which sometimes roll on their own. A nurse who took her own life in room 502 is seen standing in the window, her cries echoing through the halls. Waverly Hills is not for the faint of heart. The question isn't if it's haunted, but by how many. Are these spirits trapped by suffering, or is the building's dark history a psychic stain? When you see a shadow move where none should be, the answer feels clear. Would you walk these halls after dark? In Long Beach, California, the RMS Queen Mary is a ship with a glamorous past and a haunted present. The first-class swimming pool is haunted by women who drowned, wet footprints and ghostly apparitions are common. In the engine room, John Petter was crushed by door 13, his spirit is seen in blue overalls, and unexplained banging is still heard. The playful ghost of Jackie, a little girl, is heard giggling and calling for her mother near the ship's stern. Stateroom B, 340, was sealed for years due to intense paranormal activity, covers ripped off, faucets turning on, and a dark figure appearing. From the Lady in White to spectral sailors, the Queen Mary is a microcosm of joy, tragedy, and lingering spirits. Has the ship held on to the souls it carried across the ocean? Walk her decks at night and you might find out. Our final stop is the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia, a massive stone structure that became a nightmare of overcrowding and neglect. Designed for 250, it once held over 2,400 patients, many subjected to brutal treatments. The ghosts here are not shy. Visitors report being touched, pushed, and hearing disembodied screams and whispers. The spirit of Lily, a young girl who died here, is felt in her room, where toys move and a music box plays on its own. The Civil War section is haunted by soldiers, with full-bodied apparitions and the smell of gunpowder. Shadow figures are seen in the lobotomy ward, doors slam, and objects are thrown by unseen forces. The asylum feels actively hostile, as if the spirits are angry about their treatment in life. It's a raw, intense haunting that shakes even seasoned investigators. Would you dare spend a night inside? Some places never let go of their pain. We've walked haunted halls, felt chills in infamous hotels, and explored places where history and horror collide. Are these spirits truly lingering, or are we projecting our fears onto these eerie locations? Even skeptics admit there's a palpable energy, a weight of history that's impossible to ignore. So, would you visit any of these haunted places alone, or are some doors better left unopened? Let us know in the comments which location you'd brave or avoid, and share your own ghost stories below. Until next time, stay curious and maybe sleep with the lights on.